Hi, my name's Isaac, and this is a brand new Kia Sportage X-Line Prestige. And today, I'm gonna review it for you guys. The front end styling of this new Sportage is definitely divisive, what with its diamond-shaped LED headlights and boomerang-shaped LED daytime running lights. But I think, especially in this jungle green exterior color, the Sportage is a pretty sharp-looking SUV. In addition to LED headlights and daytime running lights, you'll also have LED turn signals and LED fog lights a little lower down on the front end. You'll also have parking sensors and a camera in the front for the 360-degree camera system, and you can also activate this camera if you're pulling into a parking spot and you'd like to see the curb a little bit better. Underneath the hood, this Sportage is powered by a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, but because this is a plug-in hybrid vehicle, that means the gas engine also works alongside a 13.8 kilowatt battery to give this a gas range of 427 miles and a fully electric range of an additional 34 miles. That gives this an EPA estimate of 35 miles per gallon with the gas engine, and combined with the electric powertrain, the EPA estimates this gets 84 mpge. And during my testing this week, I averaged around 31 miles per gallon. Moving to the profile, starting here with the key fob, I really like Kia's new design here. It's very similar to Mazda with having the buttons on the side. You'll have lock, unlock, panic. You can open the rear lift gate from here, and you also have remote start on the front. So if we hold that, that will activate the remote start. And this also has the Smart Park functionality. That is also available on Hyundais. If I hold this button, it will start moving forward. It's almost like I have the force, and I can just let go of the button. It will stop. If I hold the backup button, it gets a little bit louder to notify people it's backing up, but it does indeed back up. It kind of backs up to the THX logo. Though I don't know how often this feature is actually used. If you have a Kia or a Hyundai, let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear about how often you use the Smart Park. Continuing on to the rest of the profile, starting here with the wheels and tires, you'll get 235 55R tires around these 19-inch wheels. I like the silver and black design. These are some of my favorite recent wheels on a Kia. I think they really, really work well on this Sportage. And then coming over here to the mirror, it is gloss black with a turn signal indicator incorporated in, a camera for the 360-degree camera system, and the turn signal camera system, which we'll talk about a little bit more when we move to the interior. This also has blind spot monitoring and power adjustment. Then you have keyless entry right here. All you have to do is tap this button. If you have the key in your pocket, that will lock the vehicle. And then tapping it again will unlock the vehicle. Then moving further down, you have some nice tail lights. I think the design here is pretty cool. Your Kia badge, Sportage, and the tiny X-Line badge. You will also have parking sensors down here on the lower portion of the rear fascia and a backup camera. You also have a button down here to open up the rear lift gate if you'd like to as well. So a couple different options on opening the rear lift gate. Moving back here, it's fairly spacious. You'll get a 12 volt and there's a little LED light back here, as well as two pull tabs to drop the second row seats if you'd like even more storage options. And then lifting this up, this is a nice spot to store your charger if you'd like. And there is not a spare tire beneath this. That's actually where some of the hybrid components are. So Kia has included a fix-a-flat tire mobility kit hidden right here. And then lastly, here on the rear, there is a button at the top of the lift gate to close it if you'd like. Moving to the interior of the Sportage, it's very comfortable in here, and there's a lot of very nice features. Starting here on the door panel though, this is soft touch right here. I love the door handle design. Down here is soft touch as well, and then you'll have buttons for your window controls, your mirror controls, and then right here are the memory settings for the power seats. You get a lot of adjustment there. Then down here, this is the lighting brightness control for the digital gauge cluster screen, which we'll get to in a second. You have your traction control off, a button to open up your rear lift gate, open the fuel door, and your electronic parking brake. Then down here, you will have manually tilting and telescoping available on the steering wheel. The steering wheel itself is very comfortable. It's nicely wrapped. I like the stitching right here. And then you have your controls for the Bluetooth, the volume, channel changing, and so on. Moving into the digital gauge cluster screen that is controlled from the steering wheel, there are a few different things that you can cycle through here. Your charging, idle mode, engine temperature, pretty standard stuff, though there are some very nice things that are inbuilt to this screen. For example, if I turn the turn signal on, the camera in the mirror pops up to show you your blind spot. That works on either side. That is an incredible safety feature that I am a huge proponent of. I think all vehicles should have this, but I'm really grateful that Kias and Hyundais do. And I'm going to jump down here really quick. There is a drive mode selector. You can spin that dial, and that will actually change what the gauges look like. So there is, some decent level of customization within this screen, which I do appreciate. There are paddle shifters on the steering wheel. That's a fun little inclusion. And then coming over to the main infotainment screen, it's very sleek. You have navigation built in, but of course you can do Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's a very quick screen, and there are some fun little modes like quiet mode built in. So we click into that, it's only going to provide sound to the front seats, and it's going to be at a little bit lower level so the rear seat occupants can take a nap or rest. And so for the most part, pretty straightforward Sirius XM, FM radio. It's a nice, high-quality screen. Now, putting my foot on the brake and throwing it into reverse, yes, this is your shifter. I spin this dial and that will click it into reverse. You'll get a 360-degree top-down camera and a very high-quality backup camera. What's interesting is when most people hear 360-degree camera, they think of this, and this already is a fairly new technology, and it really impresses quite a lot of people. As I turn the wheel, you can see it gives me guiding lines right here, and then as I back up, it really is incredibly helpful to move into a space. But this also has an actual 360-degree camera in a more literal sense. And it's an incredible technology that I've only seen on Hyundais, Kias, and BMWs. I don't believe any other manufacturer has this yet, but if I click this little car right here, it will give me a full 360-degree view around this car. It's absolutely incredible. I am blown away by this. It's one of the most incredible features I have ever seen on a car, and so useful for safety. And I'm in reverse. Let's say I want the camera to be here. It will actually turn the little wheel on the car and it will back up and I can use it. It is a full 360-degree camera. It's absolutely amazing. I cannot speak highly enough of this camera. And throwing it into drive, it will give me little side view cameras of the wheels, and it'll still give me that top-down view if I want to pull into a parking spot. it's amazing and incredibly safe. I feel like Kia and Hyundai are on top of safety systems in their vehicles, and this is all the more proof to me that that is one of their top priorities. You'll have physical hazard buttons down here, and then this is fun. I mentioned this in my previous Kia video. I love how Kia hides the climate controls down here. Now, it is a screen, but it's not built into this screen. This is the only climate control screen that I like because I think it's pretty nifty. Right now, the navigation's up. As you can see, volume and power, and then your tuning is right there. But if I click this little fan, poof, this actually turns into the climate controls. I have physical dials for the temperature, and then you can adjust everything else through here, your fan speed, where you want air distribution. And then if I want to, I can just go right back to my track and my radio controls. I have talked at length on how I do not love the idea of climate controls being in a screen. And truthfully, I prefer physical buttons, but I think this is a very clever implementation of it. Though I have noticed when I go to turn up the volume sometimes, I accidentally bump the auto climate button, which switches the volume to the air conditioning, and suddenly I'm turning the heat up. That's not fun. Now, moving further down, you'll have a 12-volt USB and USB-C. You'll also have a wireless charger. If you want, you can close that up, and you'll have your push-button start right here, the aforementioned shifter. I didn't mention, however, that if you want to put it in park, you tap this button in the middle. So I want to go into drive, I shift all the way over. If I want to go into reverse, I click all the way over. One click goes up to neutral. One tap goes to park. Fairly intuitive once you get the hang of it, but it is a little bit different from other vehicles. I prefer this shifter over the one in the new Hyundai Kona I recently reviewed. I think that's a pretty goofy shifter in that SUV. Over here you will have heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and ventilated seats for the driver and passenger. That's a very nice luxury inclusion. Then you'll have two cup holders right here. You can put two large cups in, but if you want to hold smaller cups, you can tap that button and that will throw out these smaller cup holders, and then you can just push them back into place. If you want to access larger ones, pop something in there. So that's neat. You'll have your rear parking sensor off button. This will pull up a parking camera right there, you can see. And then your EV mode activation. Now it beeped at me because the EV mode has low battery, but that's where that button would be. Auto hold for stoplights, so it'll automatically hold the brake. Hill descent control, and that briefly aforementioned drive mode selector. And this has a center locker, so you can tap that and lock the center. I don't know if you necessarily want to take this off-road, but with that locker and the hill descent control, it gives you a little bit more off-road prowess than your average everyday SUV. And then opening this up, you do have a small storage container inside. And then coming up to the mirror, I love this. It's just a regular mirror, just a regular old normal mirror. There's no cameras inside of it. There's no things you flip up and it shows you even directionally where you're going. It's just a normal simplistic mirror. Now, of course, it is mounted in front of part of the safety system camera setup, but I think that's fun that it's just a regular one. Then moving up here, you have these nice little LED dome lights you can tap and they'll come on softly. Kia Connect and emergency calling, and then the singular button to control not just your full panoramic moonroof that is included here, but also the shade for it. It's taken me a little bit of getting used to, but you push up and then you push back and then you push forward, and you can control all the functionality of that from here. So that is pretty much the entire front end of this car. Moving to the rear seats, they are very comfortable, and while the door panels right here might not be soft touch up here, you still do get the cool door handle, the nice faux wood trim right here, and this is soft touch down here. And the seats each have one USB-C built into them. That's a really cool little addition. Then you'll have climate vents and some storage and cargo latches. You'll have some seat back storage as well. The best view out of the panoramic moonroof right here. And if you fold this armrest down, you get two cup holders and a pretty decent place to sit overall. Now, this seat is where I would sit at 5'9", and I'd say I have probably 7 or 8 inches of legroom, and I have, with the sunroof, probably 4 inches of headroom. Behind the sunroof, maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches, but honestly, it's not bad. And there is a recline feature. So if I put my hand over here, I can actually recline the back seats a little bit. And so if I want to take it easy on a long road trip, I can lean back. And with the leg room that I already have, it's very spacious back here and super comfortable. These are some of the nicest rear seats on a mid-sized SUV that I've experienced. And as you can see, they recline quite a bit. And this side also reclines as well. There's another pull tab on the other side. Well, something that's incredibly disappointing to me is I just recorded what I consider to be a pretty good driving segment where I gave my very thorough opinions of this Kia Sportage. And as I hit stop on the recording, I realized the audio wasn't recording at all. So that's great. And by great, I mean dumb and I'm frustrated. But that is okay. I can go through and talk about all the features here a little bit more. Now, I like this Kia Sportage. It eats up bumps on the road really well. I think it's a comfortable SUV to drive. I like that it includes the off-road modes, what with the center locker and the hill descent control. I don't think most people will actually be using those, but it's the thought that counts, right? Like, you want a vehicle that could handle some snow if you got snow, and if you decided to take it out in the mud, it can handle some mud. And I also like the amenities that you get on the interior here, the heated seats, the heated steering wheel. It's just an overall comfortable experience. And the suspension is really nice. Earlier, when I was doing the recording that wasn't recording audio, I mentioned how I was driving over a section of road that I don't normally drive on because it's so bumpy and the camera shakes a lot, but it wasn't bumpy recording. So I hit record and I went off, and I was very impressed by the Sportage's suspension there and the fact that it wasn't like, and that's impressive because I've reviewed a lot of luxury vehicles recently that haven't taken that road as well as this Sportage has. And it's just amazing the fuel economy you get and the performance that this has. I'm blown away that Kia has the features that they do, and the camera system here is boggling the mind. I truly think it's one of the coolest things that you get this amazing camera system in a Kia, and obviously Hyundai as well, but it's just not something I think a lot of people would have expected. And so if you're looking for a vehicle within this class, I would absolutely give the Kia Sportage a look. You know, the best thing that I can recommend to people when talking about cars is go test drive it. If you're not sure, go out and just test drive one and see how it is. So that's always my #1 recommendation. Well, that's just about going to wrap up my review of the Kia Sportage X-Line. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in supporting my channel, hitting the subscribe button would really help me out, and so would liking the video. Before I go though, I'd like to mention that I'm a Christian, and if you have any prayer requests, I would love to be able to pray for you. You can leave those in the comment section below. And lastly, I like to close out on a scriptural reading. This week, I'm in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 28. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. And remember, no matter what vehicle you drive, I hope it lasts you a long time and it serves you well. Take care.